For years, Viserys I Targaryen had been the only thing keeping the peace. His word carried absolute authority. When the Greens and the Blacks argued, the king silenced them. When old rivalries resurfaced, he insisted his family remain united. But time is undefeated. The old king grew weaker with each passing year. He spent more time confined to his chambers. His body failed him. His court continued to smile in public while preparing for the day his reign would end. Everyone knew the question that mattered. Not if Viserys would die, but what would happen afterward. One night, King Viserys died quietly in the Red Keep. He left behind no new decree, no written order replacing his daughter. Throughout his reign, he had consistently maintained that Rhaenyra Targaryen was his lawful heir. Yet when the king's final breath left him, Rhaenyra was not in King's Landing. She was on Dragonstone, surrounded by her own household and dragons. The Greens acted immediately. The king's death was kept secret. His body remained hidden while the members of the small council gathered behind closed doors. This meeting became known as the Green Council. Present were some of the most powerful people in the realm: Alicent Hightower, Otto Hightower, Criston Cole, other leading supporters of Prince Aegon. The debate was brief. Many had already prepared for this moment years in advance. They argued that the Great Council of 1001 AC had established that a male heir should inherit before a female one. Therefore, they claimed Aegon II Targaryen, the king's eldest son, was the rightful ruler. Others knew this directly contradicted Viserys' repeated public declarations. Nevertheless, the decision had already been made. A coup was underway. The gates of King's Landing were closed. Messengers loyal to Rhaenyra were arrested. Some disappeared. Others were executed. The city was locked down before news of the king's death could spread. One lord after another was summoned. Each received the same choice: swear loyalty to Aegon, or be treated as a traitor. Most submitted. A few refused. Some paid with their lives. There was one unexpected problem. Prince Aegon himself had vanished. When informed that he was to become king, he reportedly resisted. According to several accounts in Fire and Blood, Aegon initially argued that the throne belonged to Rhaenyra because their father had named her heir. Other accounts dispute this, illustrating one of the book's recurring themes. Different witnesses remembered the same events differently. Whatever his initial reaction, his supporters eventually found him. They convinced or pressured him to accept the crown. Once he agreed, there was no turning back. In the Dragon Pit, before thousands of cheering spectators, Aegon was crowned. The ceremony carried immense symbolism. He wore the crown of Aegon I Targaryen. He wielded the Valyrian steel sword Blackfyre. The conqueror's own regalia suggested continuity with the dynasty's founder. His dragon Sunfyre appeared beside him. Many later called Sunfyre the most beautiful dragon ever seen. Its scales shimmered like polished gold in the sunlight. The crowd erupted in celebration. King Aegon II had been proclaimed. Yet another queen still lived. Far away, on Dragonstone, Rhaenyra knew nothing of these events. She was heavily pregnant. Then the news arrived. Her father was dead. Her half-brother had claimed the Iron Throne. The shock was overwhelming. Almost immediately, she went into premature labor. The birth became long and agonizing. The child, a daughter named Visenya, was stillborn. The tragedy devastated Rhaenyra. Many later believed the grief and stress caused the terrible birth. Within days, she had lost her father, her crown, and her child. After recovering enough to stand, Rhaenyra called her supporters together. They gathered in the ancient halls of Dragonstone. There, before her family and loyal bannermen, she was crowned queen. Unlike Aegon II, she did not wear the conqueror's crown. Instead, she wore the crown once worn by Jaehaerys I Targaryen. Different crown, different claim. The symbolism was unmistakable. Two monarchs now claimed the same throne. Two coronations, two governments, one kingdom. War was no longer a possibility. It had begun. Rhaenyra assembled her own advisors. Among them stood Daemon Targaryen, Corlys Velaryon, her sons and their allies. Unlike some of her followers, Rhaenyra did not immediately demand battle. She first wanted to know where the great houses stood, who would honor the oaths sworn to her father. Who would abandon them? Ravens flew in every direction, the realm prepared to choose sides. Both factions possessed enormous strengths. The Greens controlled King's Landing, the Iron Throne, much of the royal treasury, strong support from House Hightower and their allies. The Blacks possessed Dragonstone, the loyalty of Corlys Velaryon and the powerful Velaryon fleet. More dragons and more dragon riders. Neither side believed the war would last long. Each expected a swift victory. Both were terribly mistaken. To win allies, both factions sent envoys across Westeros. Rhaenyra entrusted one of the most important missions to her second son, to Lucerys Velaryon. His destination was Storm's End. His task seemed simple: secure the support of Borros Baratheon. He expected diplomacy. Instead, he found someone already waiting. Standing inside Storm's End was his uncle, One Eye, a sapphire gleaming in the empty socket. Beside him waited the oldest and largest living dragon in the world. Aemond Targaryen had arrived first. The boy who had taken Aemon's eye had now walked directly into his grasp. The first blood of the dance was about to be spilled.